counting sheep when you're trying to sleep, being fair when there's something to share, when you know how much money you owe. That's mathematics.
This is a simple lesson on how to divide fractions and mixed numbers. We only need to learn one extra step beyond what we did to multiply them in order to divide. So how do we divide fractions? The first thing we need to do is define what dividing by a fraction really is. It's multiplying by the reciprocal of something. Believe it or not, this actually isn't something we're completely unfamiliar with. For example, multiplying by 1/2 is the same as dividing something by 2, and 1/2 is the reciprocal of 2. Let's consider the problem 4/5 divided by 2/3. Since we're dividing by 2/3, we could rewrite this as 4/5 times 3/2, because 3/2 is the reciprocal of 2/3. A reciprocal is simply a fraction flipped. Now we can reduce and multiply. We can cancel out a 2 from the 4 and the 2, and there's a 2 left over in the numerator. There's nothing else to reduce, so the factors left over are 2 times 3 in the numerator and just a 5 in the denominator. Now we have our final answer, 6/5, which equals 1 1/5. Now let's see how we should handle dividing with a mixed number. 3 1/5 divided by 4/7. First, just like in multiplication, we need to convert 3 1/5 into an improper fraction. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So we have 16/5. We also need to take the reciprocal of 4/7 to rewrite the division as multiplication. Now we just need to reduce and multiply 16/5 times 7/4. 16 and 4 are both divisible by 4, so if we cancel the 4 out, there's still a 4 left over in the numerator, because 16 is 4 times 4. There's nothing else to reduce, so we multiply 4 times 7 in the numerator and have only a 5 left in the denominator. 4 times 7 is 28, so our answer is 28/5, which equals 5 3/5. Finally, let's consider a problem with 3 parts. 8/21 divided by 5/6 times 5/2. Be careful to follow the proper order of operations here by working from left to right. We have to deal with the division before we can multiply. To divide, we take the reciprocal of 5/6 and rewrite the problem as 8/21 times 6/5 times 5/2. Notice the reciprocal of 5/6 is 6/5. We flipped it. Now, since all 3 fractions are being multiplied, we can reduce. 6 and 21 are both divisible by 3, so when we reduce the 3 over 3 out, there is a 2 left from the 6, because it was 2 times 3, and a 7 left from the 21, because it was 7 times 3. Next, we can cancel the 2's out. And finally, we can also reduce the 5's. Now we can identify the factors that are left. 8 in the numerator and 7 in the denominator. We can see now that our answer is 8/7, which equals 1 1/7.